When you think of legendary rally cars, you think probably the Mitsubishi Evolution. Mitsubishi technically didn't have a rally team, but they were called Rally Art. Is basically their division is like their SVT or their TRD, like the racing division is called Rally Art. 1989 was the first season that Mitsubishi entered the WRC. With their Galant VR4, they got 2 wins that season, and they came 4th overall in the championship. Now this was a great showing from Mitsubishi. In 1990, the team came in 3rd in the constructors with the same Galant VR4. In 1991, they got their first rally win in Sweden. In 1993, they introduced the Lancer Evolution, one of the greatest rally cars of all time. In its first ever season in rally, it got 2 podiums, but couldn't get on the top step and couldn't find a win. Halfway into 1994, the Evolution 2 was introduced, and it got 2nd on its debut rally, but would win in Sweden in 1995, with Tommy Mäkinen and Kenneth Eriksson being the 2 drivers for Mitsubishi that year. The Evo 3 was introduced, and Eriksson found good success in the Evo 3. Mitsubishi came 3rd in the constructors once again, behind Subaru, but that was the year that Subaru had Cray and Sainz, so they were pretty good. The Evo 4 then came out in 97. Tommy Mäkinen won 4 out of 14 rallies that year, won his 2nd World Drivers' Championship with Mitsubishi. The Evo 5 would come in the 5th round of the 1998 season, and that year they would win the World Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. 1999 saw the Evo 6 being introduced, and it would win on its debut rally. But even better than that, it won on its 2nd race too, back to back for the first 2 races. And they would get a record 4th World Drivers' Championship in a row. That just shows how good the Evo was on the dirt. They couldn't secure the constructors those years. In 2000, they didn't do too hot. Tommy would get 1 win, and they would finish 5th overall in the Constructors' Championship, which not good when there's only a few teams that participate. 01 had the Lancer WRC introduced, but Mitsubishi didn't factor in the new rules, and they tried to develop it like the old cars, and it didn't work. The car was terrible. Both drivers struggled. A crash that injured Tommy Mäkinen's co-driver and would lead to 2 retirements would cause him to lose the Drivers' Championship. Mäkinen then left for Subaru in 2002, and 2002 would be their worst season by far. With 2 new drivers for that season, they would only score points 1 time in the entire season. They finished last in the constructors, behind Hyundai and Skoda. Hyundai in 2002 made like nothing. How do you lose to them? In 2003, they didn't compete that year, and they came back in 04 with a restructured team, which is why they took 2003 off. And after 10 races, they decided that they should focus on developing a car for 2005 anyways, because they weren't doing great. In 2005, they came out with the Lancer WRC 05, which was a pretty well developed car. They scored points and finished 5th in the Constructors' Championship, only ahead of Skoda, which again, they lost to Hyundai. And then in 2006, Mitsubishi would suspend participation in the World Rally Championship. The racing division still had a couple of races in 06 and 07, but in 2009, they would eventually sell the racing division, and Mitsubishi would then be out of rally for good. Now the problem with Mitsubishi, as the WRC restrictions got tighter, the engines got smaller. The same problem that Subaru faced. They didn't have the hot hatch that could keep up with these tiny engines and lightweight, but still meet all the requirements of the WRC. The Evolution is a big car, and moving away from the Group A and Group B days, they wanted to move to smaller engines, smaller cars, not going as fast, even though the Evo has a great all-wheel drive system. But these little small 2-door hatches is not what Mitsubishi made. The same reason that Subaru would not do well in the early 2000s and eventually pull out of rally. And even today, they don't have a car that could compete with these cars. Even though Mitsubishi is probably one of the best known rally teams out there because of the Evo and because of things like the Galant VR4, right? When you think of rally, you don't think of the Hyundai. That's lame. Even though they're great nowadays, you think Mitsubishi, you think Subaru, you think Ford. Although Ford's still in it, might have to do a video on Ford. They don't have the same hit as these older guys. Although Rally Art still exists today, selling one-off parts for modified cars in like China or something. Mitsubishi has rumored about making their motorsports division alive once again to come back and compete. Now, we don't know if it's WRC, we don't know if it's Rally Art, we don't know if it's the Evo. If you look at the state of Mitsubishi today, it's pretty safe to say that they're not going to come back because they did this to the Eclipse. So if they brought back the Evo, it'd probably be like a 4-door family wagon that's electric, just stupid and lame and uncool. But let me know what you think. Let me know if I missed anything, and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe you're more of a Subaru fan. Maybe you should check out this video here.